Repeat that. Repeat that.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You got me? You got me? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Barely.
Can you hear me
there?
now?
I can hear you.
Okay. Just repeat that statement about Thomas Jefferson, because you know what we're doing is exactly what the founding fathers told us to do. They warned us about it. What form of government have you wrought for us, Mr. Franklin? A constitutional republic, ma'am, if you can keep it. What can we do to keep it?
Well, what I was going to say again was that Thomas Jefferson said it right when he said that the tree of freedom should be fed with the blood of tyrants and patriots. I'm not so sure I like the patriot part, because I'd rather have the other guy die on his sword, you know. But a lot of people don't get it, Clay, and they keep talking rhetoric, and they talk in circles, and they keep pissing me off, and they upset everybody else, because they're being so stupidly obvious that they don't want to say that other stuff. That's the way. Second Amendment and First Amendment, those are the top two. Without the Second Amendment, you won't have the first one. That's it. That's all you need to know. And yet these other people want to talk about, well, you know, we need to do this, we need to do that. We don't even have a proper voter registration card in the United States, for Christ's sake. That's where there's voter fraud, people that have died, people that are illegals, people are registering their pets and their dogs. What a stupid, ignorant country we are. You know, this country is so screwed up right now. You know, it's like anybody could come in here and take over. That's how bad we are, because people are laying around being stupid and they don't get it. And yet Mexico has a better voter registration card that's verified with a photograph, a fingerprint, an address, which is verified through bills like your electric bill and things like that. So you can't walk up and say, I'm Joe Blow, when actually you're somebody else. You know, even back in the 60s, when LBJ was quoted as saying that, yeah, we used to go down there and pick up a bunch of Mexicans, illegals, of course. We'd pay them $5, show them where to vote, and we'd give them a shot of whiskey on the way back, and we'd let them go. Just like that. That's how it's done today. It's still done today. You can get registered right outside Walmart, because you got mom and pop out there registering people. They don't care who they are. If you sign the document that says you're basically committing perjury, because people are saying that they have a right to be here in the United States, or that they're U.S. citizens, and they're not. So there's a ton of voter fraud. You know, this country needs to, we need militias, and we need to have a lot of them right now. And we need to talk to the cops and the military people. The military people would be the first ones I would think about, because they have the know-how.
Anytime.
And they have the instruction.
Anytime a communist regime takes over a country, they go after, what I've been telling people, they go after three classes of people in order. They go after the farmers first, because they don't want you being able to feed yourself. The intelligentsia next, that's anybody that's smart enough to know what the hell they're trying to pull. And third is the veterans and police officers, law enforcement, that are opposed or are dedicated to their oath keepers.
Exactly.
Now,
yes,
you are a perfect example right now. They've gone after a law enforcement officer because you got too close to the truth. You were approaching you were approaching it on behalf of the people in support of your oath.
Exactly.
So we're in that third stage now, and with this NDAA law that they just passed, that basically overturns posse comitatus, and that was their goal back in the when they formed FEMA. That's what they told us. That this it's going to be a long war, and the war is against the people. They're trying to demonize Americans. If you got a Ron Paul sticker on your car, you could be a terrorist. If you got a Constitution laying on your dash, you could be a terrorist. Now, I also believe that, look, just let me go back to this, because I'm going to get a lot of static from my people if I don't talk to you about this. The Jews control the media. Jewish people control all of your television, all of your radio. The Rothschilds agents bought up Reuters. They owned your ABC and NBC, and so there is a Jewish influence on here in America. that is basically communist in nature. What they've said here, and that let's see, I've got it here. You know, they've. I think what we're fighting here is a monstrous evil, and some of it's represented by the Muslims, some by Jews, and there's a lot of supposed Christians, but the masses are starting to wake up to the strength and wisdom of true Christianity and the danger of attacks by antichrist religions that have been at war with the forces of good and God for millennia. My work's done with an eye to the truth. I care about this country. I care about our white race, who I think are the true Israelites of old, and that's not hate. But hate is being spread by people like the ADL and Southern Poverty Law. These are the people that have gone after the Border Patrol agents, Nacho Ramos and Campion. They've gone after you. I'm sure you're on the list of the ADL or Southern Poverty Law, aren't you?
I'm not sure if I'm on their list, but I know I'm on the government's list because they already did go after me, and they have been. You know, they still are.
So how do we unite? Divide and conquer is what they try to do. Oh, you're a Republican? Well, I'm a Democrat. Oh, you're a liberal? Well, I'm a conservative.
Well, I'm gonna go back to what the Congress and the Senate are doing. What is your congressman and your senator doing for you or me? That's a simple question. And that's the only thing that needs to be answered, because when you figure out that they're not doing their job, you need to get rid of them. Right now, at this point, I don't care how they get rid of them, because they're taking too much time. Too much time is being spent on delays, and delays means they don't get anything done. They're ignoring the people. Clay, you've said it. You've been on the radio for a few years, and you know this. You know, I mean, the congressman's supposed to do his job, and when you go to your congressman, he's supposed to represent you, and they're not doing it. If this was back during Thomas Jefferson's time and back in the 1700s, we fired that guy and immediately got rid of him and gotten somebody else who's going to do their job. Plain and simple. And we might even treat them like they're traitors and charge them with treason. And back in those days, that was a serious offense. And they had due process that was very fast. Yep, you're guilty. Hang him right now. Next guy. Who's next? Just like that. Even George Washington had summary judgments on traitors, and they used to kill firing squads, a bunch of people that were turning in red, just because they needed people. You know, this country is full of cowards, Clay. I mean, I get so sick and tired of it. You hear all these people that don't know what they're doing, and yet, well, what's the Congress doing? They're supposed to represent us. They're not representing us. We've got to get rid of them. We've got to clean house.
It can be done if people stop thinking of this as a Republican or Democrat thing. You're an American. You're an American here,
yeah.
and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, in my estimation here. It shouldn't be whether you're black, whether you're white. I don't care how you worship. The Constitution takes care of that, doesn't it? So if you want to get on your knees and stick your nose in the dirt and your ass up in the air, pray to Mecca every day, I'll try to keep the St. Bernard off of you. Okay. But you want to bang your head against that Wailing Wall? Knock yourself out. I'll watch. You want to get down on your knees and grovel and ask God for a Cadillac? I'll try not to giggle. Okay?
Well, those are the good Muslims, by the way, Clay. And I know some good Muslims. In fact, I'll give you an example of how bad the Quran is. If you haven't read it, there's something called the Taqiyya law that allows them to lie to infidels.
Oh, well, wait a minute. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. Hold it right there, John. I got to add that the Jews have the same thing. It's called a kol nidri, and this is what I talk about antichrist religions. The kol nidri means they take a vow every year that they can lie to you. So go ahead. I finish about the Muslims, and then we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, well, basically, there was a family living nearby me, and they instructed their children to pretend that they were to be Christians, so that when they would talk to their other American friends, they would tell them that they were Christians. Well, one of them admitted, no, it's a secret, don't tell anybody that I'm a Muslim. Well, the worst thing that we're dealing with right now is a guy who's in office who lied about who he is, and he's a Muslim. This is the worst treacherous type of act that anybody's ever committed against the United States government and its people, and that we need to clean that up.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
Mr. Barry Soetoro, you know.
Absolutely, he needs to be taken out. He's admitted. I've got him on film admitting that he's a Muslim, admitting that he was born in Kenya. So he's by his own words, he's condemned himself and pointed out that he's a traitor. He should be impeached, and they're actually trying to impeach him right now, running on things that aren't even related to his birth certificate or his social security number, all of which is fake, folks.
And on top of that, they should charge conspiracy, which is what our government likes to do against innocent people. Charge conspiracy against everybody who supported him, and have them charged as well, including Mr. Biden or Hillary Clinton or anybody else that's in Congress or the Senate or in the government right now.
Yeah, how about George Soros?
If he's part of the system and he violated the conspiracy, yes.
Now, Congress has been trying to remove that clause from the Constitution for some time about the citizen, you know, citizen born here to be president. You got to be born here.
Yeah, I've followed that very closely, and I know immigration law because I have to enforce immigration law. They've been trying to do that for a long time, and if that's the case, we could have put Arnold Schwarzenegger in office a long time ago, you know, because he was born in Austria.
Right.
And then look at what we end up with. Some guy who, is he Indonesian this week, or is he Kenyan? Is he Muslim, or is he whatever? I mean, come on. He traveled on an Indonesian passport. He was born in Kenya, and they flew him out to Hawaii because they knew that they could get a document that says something about being born in Hawaii on a delayed birth certificate.
Okay, you guys, this is a
trick. He's a citizen by law, unless he's Indonesian.
This is a trick question for you. would we have been any better off to have Songbird McCain in there?
Say again?
Would we have been any better off if we had gotten Songbird McCain in there?
I'm not sure because he's turned into a wishy-washy type that I was disappointed. I thought that we were going to have a guy who was going to stand his ground, and all of a sudden no, I wouldn't go with McCain at all. I'd rather go with Sarah Palin if I had to, you know, or somebody else. But there are so many good people out there, Clay, and we're two of them right now just talking. Why don't we get into office, you know? You see what I mean?
Well,
there are other people out there, but they don't want to do it.
I have higher ambitions than that, John.
Yeah, I know.
I want to take over the New World Order. I want to let them be successful for about a half a year and then take it over and run it for the people. Run it for the people. You want to grow pot, you want to grow cocaine, grow it, do it, you know, and just don't cheat anybody, don't steal, you know, and I'm actually for, you know, shorter prison sentence and more hangings, you know. Why should if you break a law or you hurt somebody, why should I pay for your upkeep for the next 15 years? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, 15 or 20 or even 50 years.
Yep.
That brings up that case about the guy named Charles Manson, where they changed the law, and he barely escaped with his life, basically. And yet, if it was another country, they were taking care of it right away. I mean, you know, look at what happened to Saddam Hussein. You know, I'm very religious deep down inside, and I was raised a Christian, but I also studied Buddhist beliefs. And to really throw people off, I'll tell you this: Jesus was a Buddhist, okay? But people don't want to hear the facts.
How did Ray Wiley Hubbard put that? He said, you know, Jesus would have made a good Buddhist.
No, he studied Buddhism. He lived in Tibet for part of his missing years that they don't want to tell you about. But when I saw that man being hanged because somebody was videotaping it off of their cell phone, you know, I feel bad even for the worst criminals, because eventually we're all going to die anyway. It just depends on how and when. And they should have kept him alive and used him to gather intelligence and information. But the problem is, he was an asset for the CIA.
That's right, and so was Muammar Gaddafi. So was
Osama bin Laden and all the other people that were killed off real quick.
That's right.
They're just trying to cover up. They don't want the truth to get out.
Barry Seal, they assassinated him down there in Baton Rouge.
Well, you know, he had some interesting information on him when they found his body. They found a little black book that had a guy's phone number in it that was unlisted to some person in Texas by the name of Bush. And he also had the tail number listed, which I believe that gentleman owns even today. Same thing that was used when they spotted him carrying, bundles of cocaine.
That's right. So you know, I think I'm starting to think now that just getting into the Patriot movement might not have been the smartest move. I probably should have stayed in with High Times and Normal, and what I wrote in fiction is actually happening now. And the way I put that, let me just share that with you here. Let me just share that with you. If I can get this up. I said, today in 10 states, if you follow all their rules, guidelines, and pay off the state, the medical, and the pharmaceutical industries, a few million former lawbreakers can smoke what we smoked for 40 years without fear of fines or imprisonment in 10 states. Now, maybe some of you out there consider that progress. In my radical viewpoint, even those states are mere extensions of the swiftly emerging, even more intrusive police state of global government. The war on drugs was a war on the American people, so is the war on terror. True freedom, waking up, walking out in the sunshine, plucking a bud off the plant the Bible calls the plant of renown, growing openly in my front yard, rolling it up, sharing a hit with my neighbor while I walk my dogs without fear of arrest or harassment by any governmental employee. Why should I have to pay a doctor for a plant that God gave us? Now, many in the Christian and Patriot movement, as well as the program masses, have bought into the Hearst-created communist propaganda that allowed the communists to steal our #1 cash crop. You know, the one they used to make the paper the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and Bill of Rights was written on. In the process, they made criminals out of 40 million Americans. I was one of them.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if they legalize marijuana totally tomorrow. The worst that they might want to do is do taxation just like they do cigarettes and charge for marijuana coming from outside the country, from Mexico or wherever. So if there's a money interest, I can see where the government's going to want to get involved, you know. Get your tax stamp today. In fact, they actually had a marijuana tax stamp, you know.
That's right, they did, and that's what drove them out of business, because the farmers couldn't afford to pay a tax on something you couldn't get high off of, but you can make your shirt, you can make the sails out of it, and they damn sure made your blue jeans out of it originally.
Yep. Just it reminds me of the prohibition issue. You know, the people involved in prohibition back in the 30s and the 40s.
The only thing prohibition helped.
The
only thing prohibition. It's the same thing right now. Prohibition helped the gangsters. It helped the Al Capones. It had you know, they made money off of it. And the Kennedys made money off of that. The Brothmans made money off of that. And they're making money on one end or another on this war on drugs. And I repeat, the war on drugs is a war on the American people. We need to change that, because the way the system is, it allows for corruption. If you want to go sit in a corner of your home and kill yourself with heroin, don't waste my time and my, police. They don't need to spend time kicking down your door and putting you in jail. They don't need to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right, I'm going to let you go, sir. I appreciate you hanging in with me and doing this extra little bit of time, John. And maybe let me know if you get any response off of this, if you got any hits off your website, and let people on your email you can download this show from Blog Talk Radio. And I will be back on schedule.
If they can get in touch with me through your website or through you, because you know what, Clay, my PO box and my email link is not working. It's not updated. It's not current. And I forgot to mention that earlier.
Okay, well, I'll bring you back up sometime next week so we can talk some more. And if you would study up about the whole 9/11 and the USS Liberty and some of the acts of these false flag operations that the Israelis have launched against us.
Well, let me tell you this. I do know a guy who's running for office, and he used to be with the Israeli Defense Forces. He is in the know. He knows a lot of information. I already sent him an email, as a matter of fact, just last night, asking him the very question. Where it was Mossad involved in 9/11 and all these other issues, because I'm being confronted or I'm coming across information.
We need to know that. We need to know that. Hopefully he will tell us that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what religion.
I will let you know.
All right, please do that, and I'll get back with you and get you on next week. Hello, Tim. Are you Tim? You called in here. I got you on the line here.
Well, hello.
Hello, Tim.
Am I calling during a radio show?
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay. That was not my intention. How are you this morning?
I'm doing fine. I'll tell you what. I will call you right back, sir.
You got it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. I'm out of here, folks.
All right. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Okay.